Hello everyone. Today is another video for the Autistic Experience by the Amazing J. And we're talking about the autistic experience of me being an autistic person. Of my own personal experiences as an autistic person. As you can see, I talked a little bit too excitedly fast about in that conversation because autistic people can be similar to bipolar in some ways because of the emotional dysregulation of autism. That we tend to speak a little too fast when we have our anxiety pumping. But that's okay. Anyway, this is Skylar, Maltese dog. I drive her nuts sometimes and overwhelm her too. But that's me as an autistic person because I want hugs and stuff from her and stuff. And she cuddles. Hey Sky, go make. Anyway, this is me as an autistic person, and I just wanted to talk briefly for 5 minutes about my own experience as an autistic person in the community, or even at home in my family too. And the previous video was about overthinking and the traumas from overthinking. This video is mostly about how, as an autistic person, due to my focus and my special interests, I tend to, or even in situations that overwhelm me with social stuff or too excitedly with the social stuff, I tend to overwhelm many people. From family, to friends, to extended family, to neighbors, to strangers, to politicians, to work, job, employer, boss, supervisor, everyone, whole 9 yards. I tend to overwhelm everyone. And it's not because I mean to, it's because it's something I need to monitor more so than everyone else can. Because as an autistic person who's also a visual thinker and paints and is artistic and stuff like that, I noticed that autistic people like myself, who have similar autism to me, but neither one's different, neither one's the same anyway, tend to have more anxiety than me, myself. And but this is my experience with autism and my anxiety. I tend to have a lot of anxiety as an autistic person. Some of you may not, some of you may have little, some may have the same, some may be even more. Some may even have self-induced behaviors and stuff like that. I don't know. I flap sometimes too. I tick. I have Tourette's also, but that's all about me. Anyway, the autistic experience is very diverse, like extremely diverse, like multitude of infinitely diverse. Every autistic person is different. As Stephen Shore usually says, when you meet one autistic person, you've met one autistic person, and that's it. That's the same thing with non-autistic people too. You meet one non-autistic person, you've met only one non-autistic person. Boom. Same with schizophrenia, same with bipolar, same with anything. Actually, in my realms of the neck of the woods, Skylar, in my neck of the woods, it seems like autism, even though it's called the autism spectrum, it seems like all these different things within the DSM or even in ICD are not only not pathological at times, but some of them are. But they're all a spectrum. So they call autism a spectrum, but in reality, everything's a spectrum. So why do they call it just autism a spectrum? When all these things are a spectrum. Meaning they're all diverse. Someone who has leukemia is different from another person who has leukemia. But I don't want to stress on that so much because this is neurodiversity, and neurodiversity doesn't focus on pathology. We focus on difference and disability, and that's different than pathology. So I'm sorry if I said this. Please don't. That's part of my internalized ableism, and I just want to express that. So autism is a neurological difference. It's also a disability. for many, many people. And autism is stressed very much so into emotional dysregulation for many, many people. Not all people. There's some autistic people I met who don't have this. Don't even have anxiety. But that's some, not all. And every single time every single time you say all or nothing, which autistic people tend to do, and basically everyone tends to do. You don't have to be autistic to do all or nothing, black and white thinking. But it's kind of like more emphasized in autism because of the myths and pathology, that's my internalized ableism. Myths and stupidity, scratch out the internalized ableism. Myths and fallacies and foolishness of the human race. Autism is really something unique like anything else. It's part of the human existence. It's something that's part of us. That's always in our genes. Always. You get rid of autism, you get rid of the human race. You get rid of neurological differences and disabilities, you get rid of the human race. You get rid of a neurotypical person, you get rid of the human race. You get rid of that, you get rid of this, you get rid of this, you get rid of that, you get rid of the human race. Because in reality, the human race is not a it's not a straight line. It's a roller coaster. It's an up and down thing that constantly rolls up and down, swirls around, spins around, garbles in your mouth, like I just did. That's the human experience. Disability is the human experience. Autism is part of that human experience. It's part of the existence of humanity, like anything else. Like even white Jewish person, that's part of human experience, but also black people or African Americans or however you want to say it. I'm a person of color. I'm very open-minded. I'm very easily wanting to learn. And even Spanish people, Hispanic people, Latin people, whatever you want to call them. I know deaf people, all types of people. It's all part of the human experience. So why judge? Because human nature, we judge. It's part of the experience too. Why criticize? Why curse out? Why do this? Why do that? Why get emotional? You get emotional and we stigmatize because that's part of the human experience too. But part of the human experience too is to learn from that stigma, to learn from the stereotypes, and to learn from the internalized ableism, and to learn from the ableism itself, and the racism, and the anti-Semitism, and the transphobia, and the homophobia, and the heterosexism, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. All these different things are part of the human experience. But some things are meant to be learned from the human experience, while some things are meant to just continue with the human experience. And we have to know the difference, because there is a difference. And all I have to say to you is today, I'm not trying to lecture. I want to have a conversation and understand you, and you understand me as an autistic person, as well as I'm probably overwhelming you, because that's what this topic's about, right? How I, as an autistic person, overwhelm people. Wow! I was talking to you for like 8 minutes and 59 seconds, and I've just overwhelmed you with 7 minutes of information. Wow. So, anyway, you want to see Skylar? We'll end with Skylar. Alright, sorry. This is Sky. Sky! I hope you saw that, because I'm trying to self this on my thing. I'm having a little trouble, so I hope you saw a little bit of Sky. But I'm going to try to get a little bit more. Sky! Alright, so have fun, enjoy your day, and remember, the autistic experience is like your experience. It's part of the human experience. Disability is part of the human experience, but so is us. So is humanity. We are part of the human experience.